Welcome to episode 2 of my Star Wars X-Wing book club. I'm John Barry, and in today's episode we're covering chapter 2 of Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron by Michael A. Stackpole. Last week we went over chapter 1, so if you haven't seen that yet and you would like to start from the beginning, please go watch the playlist, which will be linked in the cards either here or here. So please do consider doing that. Also, I do want to say, if I get a little frustrated in this video, please bear with me. This is like my 5th time recording, because my very first time we did so well, and I wasn't recording. So I could get a little frustrated here and there, like where I had something to say and I can't remember what I said. I do want to apologize for that, that is so likely to happen. So yeah, if you're making your own videos, make sure you hit record before you start recording. But let's actually get into the video, and actually before we go too much farther, if you find yourself enjoying it at all, please consider leaving a like and checking me out on the socials. Links are in the description. The same goes for my website and Discord server as well. And I would like to hear from you. What did you think of chapter 2? What did you think of the entire book? So let's not try to spoil it, because some people may not have read this book before, like myself. Also, another thing to ask is no criticisms of this, how I can improve it. I'm looking for those things, and just your general thoughts. So let's actually get into the content, shall we? So chapter 2 picks up after chapter 1, obviously, and we switch perspectives from Cornhorn to Wedge and Tilly's, and Wedge is in a meeting with Admiral Akbar and General Salm, S-A-L-M. I know, it took me a while to get it pronounced correctly, too. Oh, somewhat correctly. I could be still pronouncing it wrong for all I know. I still could be pronouncing it wrong for all I know. But so, Wedge is in this meeting, and they talk about why there's a bunch of trainees for Rogue Squadron. Essentially, it's because 1, high casualty rates, and 2, Wedge was like on tour, propaganda told with the rebellion's allies to drum up support for the fight against the Empire, and it kind of sounds like the Rogue Squadron was effectively disbanded when he was assigned to that duty, so they're essentially reforming it, and with the goal of having representation among the many different members of the rebellion and their allies. So that's essentially the setup for it. And of course there's some conflict, that Wedge wants to make sure he has the best, and of course he even uses the rebellion leadership's own argument of representation to get a palette he really wants, despite the fact that he's young, like 16 young, and and he has not done much to prove himself yet. That being Gavin Darklighter, the cousin of Biggs Darklighter, and so Wedge gets his waves out and replaces a Corellian, and Wedge is also Corellian. There's also Cornhorn in the book who's a Corellian. So Wedge just says 3 Corellians is too many if you want to be representative. Essentially, that he uses their own argument to get a person he feels is going to be an even better pilot, which is pulling good and all of that. Another thing I wanted to point out about this is that Wedge also during this meeting is making the argument to have Captain Tycho Chelche as his executive officer rather than Captain. Let me just make sure I got her name correctly. I'm almost there. Don't bear with me on this. Okay. Okay, rather than Captain Ariel Num, who is the sister of Ninub, who was the co-pilot, the Celestian co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon during the Battle of Endor. Essentially, Wedge makes the argument while she is skilled, it's all intuition for her that she not necessarily will be able to successfully teach the other pilots on how to be a better pilot. Essentially, Wedge is arguing that's going to be frustrating for her, frustrating for him, frustrating for the squadron. Still wants her in the squadron, but he wants Captain Tycho Chelche as his executive officer, essentially because he feels like Tycho would be better able to teach. And Tycho's from Alderaan, by the way. But, of course, there's a catch. Tycho had about probably a year, I would say, before the book takes place, a volunteer to fly a TIE fighter covertly to Coruscant, probably on a recon mission or some sort, and he got captured, and he spent, I would say, probably about a year with captured by the Empire, and he escaped and got back by the time of this book. I'm only guessing on the time frame there. I think in the later book it might be specified. But essentially, he's gone from the route, and General Solomon suspects Tycho may no longer be loyal to the Rebellion, which Wedge thinks is just crazy. But essentially what it is that Wedge had talked with Tycho, established that he did, and that Tycho agreed to have like all of his personal liberties and freedoms severely restricted, so that he could serve as the XO and help train the new rogue squadron. And Akbar agrees with all this, has a small conversation with Tycho, and boom, goes General Salam is not pleased with this, obviously, but Wedge essentially got his way on both accounts. And then, of course, there's a little bit of hint on how, that Akbar had at some point offered Wedge a promotion that would have taken him out of the action. It's given that inclination, actually that is the case, and we will find that out later, but this chapter gives us a nice first hint at it. So that's really, it kind of sets up in the questioning of Tycho's loyalty. How was that continue? How would that proceed? Well, we just gotta wait and find out. And who's actually going to be the best pilot? Corin Horn or Jace? Jace? I can never pronounce his name, but Jace. Which one of those two will actually be the better pilot? Because they're established again here to be equally skilled, and like it's a hard race between the two of them of who's actually better. The Wedge also breaks up how Jace has arrogance as his weakness and Corin has impatience as his weakness, and how he wants to remedy that. And it's also established that Jace is from the planet Tasseria, the major backed-up producing planet in Star Wars Legends, and that another Tasserian from the other major family on Tasseria, who own a different backed-up corporation. Talk about confusing corporate politics. But essentially, so there's two Tasserians from the two big backed-up family companies, whatever. So there's that. So I suspect that will play out in future storylines. Actually, I suspect so because there is a book called Star Wars X-Wing, The Bacta War. I think Bacta's going to play a key part in a later book. But we're not quite there yet. So that's really all the kind of basic stuff about the book. Let's talk about what the book talks about in this one chapter. Diversity. And no, is it good, is it bad? Essentially the book has the message that diversity is good as long as you're not sacrificing skill and all that for it. Which is actually a pretty good message. Because, while having diversity is good, diversity of viewpoint, diversity of skill even is always good. But at the same time, there are certain standards you just got to hold firm to. Like say if a nuclear reactor wanted to increase its diversity among its scientists, well, I would not hire somebody from an economically depressed area who has never even taken a physics college level class in his or her life. It's like, you gotta have some basic measure of skill. The person could still be from an economically depressed area, part of a minority group, but has managed to go to college and actually knows a thing or two about nuclear physics. That's what you want in a scientist running a nuclear reactor. You still need some basic skills. And that's essentially say once you get the best of the best from each planet, each alien species, and you form them together and you train them into a well-oiled squadron. Which I think is a good way of doing it, saying that diversity is good. You want that diversity. It helps people relate to you and all that as a group. But also, at the same time, you don't necessarily want to sacrifice skill. Now, this is jumping ahead, but in Book 5, Race Squadron, we kind of see how Wedge decides to take a lot of the rejects and forms another squadron that's very diverse, and then really trains them to be a new squadron and up to skill, if that makes sense. So obviously this book was written in the 90s, so the attitude of America around that time will have influenced the perspective Michael Stackpole had given about diversity, but a very good perspective. It's not a bad perspective. And it's not diversity for the sake of diversity either. He's arguing that when you do diversity, it needs to be healthy and you need to have some good skill about it. Which I think is a very good way of approaching diversity, you know. You don't want to force it. And look how the backlash perceived forced diversity has gotten. And I'm using the word perceived because some of the things like, that's not forced diversity. Forced diversity is when you're told you should respect or like someone because they are diverse. Or that. That's when forced diversity, when you're told you have to do this and you have to like it. When you're told, we need to do this, it's necessary, and here's reasons why this person has good character, this person is being well developed, then it's good. It's just when you have diversity for the sake of diversity and you don't have any support, like skill, character development, all that. That's good when you have those supports to the diversity. When it's just diversity by its own, you're not benefiting from that diversity. And we'll see how diversity probably plays other roles later on in the series and the book. But that's for another time. So, I would like to ask of you if you want to help support the channel. I know now you guys like hearing these pleas for support, but I would like you to support my channel. And actually the simplest way is just interacting on my channel and sharing it in my videos, because that will help with that. But another way, if you really want to contribute and go the extra mile, like really the extra mile, you could consider supporting me on Patreon, $1 a month minimum, and you get access to blooper scripts, cut content. At higher tiers, you get other rewards. You can check that out if you want. You can also support me by, you know, buying a piece of merch like a t-shirt from my merch store over on TeePublic. And you could even, if you want, just make a one-time donation through PayPal. All those links are in the description. So this is where I'm going to actually end my video, though I expect some people have turned away now that I started pitching that stuff. But regardless, thank you for watching, thank you for staying through my entire video. And I would like to encourage you to subscribe to my channel for future content. Ring the bell if you actually want YouTube to give you some notifications about my content. And that's all I have to say besides thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always.